What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what I think is the best zero build loadout in the summer escape event, and likely even after the event is over. I don't think they'll change anything too drastic with some of these items. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe to like see more, and comment down below what your favorite setup is to run in Fortnite right now. So as far as ARs go, the MK Alpha is just a clear definitive winner. I think it's much better than both the Havoc AR and the Thermal DMR as far as dominating mid to long range fights. There are times where like either the Havoc AR or the Thermal DMR might outclass the MK, but as far as like a majority of the fights that you're going to get into, the MK is just the better choice. And even in some fights where those other weapons might have the advantages, they're more one-dimensional, and even then it's not like they're a clear upgrade over the MK in a lot of the fights where they may be better. So I just think the MK is the way to go as far as ARs go. For medium to long range, I think it's just the best choice. The Flapjack AR is also in the game, but you know, it's just the red dot ARs are pretty much always going to have a huge advantage over the third person ones in zero build because it's much more convenient to play cover and peek cover. Also, you get in more like long range fights in zero build than you do in build because people can't just build and protect themselves. So the MK having a red dot is very good for this, and it has a good fire rate, it's got good damage, it's got manageable recoil, which is a very solid all around weapon. So I think the MK is still going to be the best AR choice. Shotgun is where it kind of gets dicey because I feel like there's 4 shotguns in the game right now, and they all have a clear like purpose or reason to exist. I think they're all good. I guess the Breacher shotgun exists also, but I wouldn't really recommend using that at this point. But you know, the Havoc pump, the Sharp Tooth shotgun, the Maven auto shotgun, and the drum shotgun, I think they're all quite good. I prefer the Havoc pump. It's just the highest damage potential shotgun in the game. Doesn't have as much range as something like the Sharp Tooth, but that really high damage is what I want out of my pump shotgun. The Sharp Tooth does have much higher range than the Havoc pump, which can be good for kind of playing off the explosive repeater, which we're going to get to later on, or just playing cover. But for me, when I'm picking a shotgun, I value the close range damage over like the medium to long range shotgun. Like the Sharp Tooth, I think, retains damage up to like 70 meters or something like that, which makes it pretty insane. But it's like, if I'm that far away, I would rather just be using my AR anyways. And I feel like over time, the AR is just going to be the better choice for that type of fight, or the explosive repeater. So it's like the added range of the Sharp Tooth is novel, but in practicality, I just much prefer the Havoc pump. I think it's just the better choice for up close, and that's just my playstyle. And then also like the Maven auto shotty, you know, the exotic Maven, the drum shotty, they exist. If that's what you enjoy using, that's what you enjoy using. But I feel like those shotguns, while they can be good, they're not going to be as consistently good as something like the Havoc pump. If you use the drum shotty, you can get a lot of kills with that weapon, you can get a lot of wins with that weapon. But if you go up against a good player using the Havoc pump, it might be hard for you to defeat them, especially with the explosive repeater in the game, which is going to be the final weapon I suggest using. The explosive repeater was added during the season, and it is incredibly good. Not only do you get solid damage if you hit the person, you get explosive damage on top of that if you just hit near them. If you hit the person, you get the hit and the explosive damage. If you hit near them, you can just get the explosive damage in some cases. Not only is this a close range dominant weapon when combined with a shotgun, because you can swap from the Havoc pump to the explosive repeater, shoot, and then swap back to the pump and essentially use it like how double pump was back in the day. You could do the same thing with the Sharp Tooth as well. Like either of the pump shotguns go very well with the explosive repeater in close range, and that's also one of the things that kind of steers me towards a pump shotgun more. Not only do I prefer the pump style shotguns, but with the explosive repeater in the game, you don't really lose that much fire rate when you're swapping between them. The Maven auto and the drum shotty are much easier to use and much more convenient to use. But if you get used to swapping quickly and timing your shots well with the pump and the explosive repeater, you're going to dominate close range fights. The explosive repeater is also very good in those like medium to long range fights. Like I was saying, the Sharp Tooth is good in those fights, and it is beneficial to have that range shotgun because you can kind of like peak shot consistently, but you can do the same thing with the explosive repeater. So that's another reason why I don't really care for the Sharp Tooth that much, but you can, you know, play mid-range tags with it. It stacks with the Bloodhound augment. Even if you just hit the explosive damage on somebody, you ping them if you have Bloodhound, which makes it very good. You know, if you get opening MK tags on somebody, they go behind cover. you can start tagging them with the explosive repeater behind the cover. Not only are you going to get extra damage, maybe finish them, maybe flush them out of cover, but if you have Bloodhound, you're going to ping this person, and that makes it much easier to close the fight out when you push them. I think the explosive repeater rifle is one of the most overpowered weapons we've had in Chapter 4. It's just like incredibly good as a weapon, but it also has the like added utility of being able to flush people out from behind cover, hit shots on people that are just kind of like playing behind a like, you know, right shoulder peek or something. And then also when combined with shockwaves, you can just rain down shots from the sky, and it's very difficult for anybody to play against this, especially if you have the soaring sprints augment. So I would highly recommend taking shockwaves. Even if the explosive repeater wasn't in the game, shockwaves would still be worth carrying. But with the explosive repeater in the game, kind of that situation I just outlined where like you tag somebody and then they go behind cover, you can splash damage them, or you can just shockwave at them and shoot explosives down on them from the sky. And this also works on people in bushes. You can destroy the bush. The amount of utility you get out of the explosive repeater and the shockwave combo is very insane. And it's also just an incredibly good weapon when combined with the pump. And that's why I think the explosive repeater is one of the most overpowered things in the game. So I'd highly recommend taking shockwaves. And then for your heals, I feel like this is one of the more interesting times for heals recently, because we have the legendary slurps in the game. They're incredibly good. They're still probably the best healing item, but also with the summer event update, we got the low whip special serve ice cream, and you can find this as floor loot, and you can find this as in coolers, and it gives you 100 health, 100 shield, and it takes half a second to use. So you could be at 1 HP, pop this, and then now you're 100. And I definitely have had times where I push somebody and I'm kind of caught off guard by the fact that they have this low whip special serve and they can just immediately be back to full HP. Obviously the slurps can get you back to full HP, but you need more time. You know, you need to pop the slurp. I think the slurp has a half a second use time as well, so the use time on them is the same. But with the slurp, you have to wait for your health to regen, whereas with the low whip special serve ice cream, it's immediate. So if you have access to the low whip special serve, it is very good, and it's definitely worth carrying. There are some times where the slurp might be beneficial, though. You know, if you took 50 damage in a fight, I don't know if I would want to pop my ice cream in that situation. You know, it's kind of weird. Like, do I use it for only 50 or do I wait till I take more? Whereas like with a slurp, I would have no problem popping the slurp there because I know it's going to heal me and then continue to heal me over the course of the fight. And there are times, especially in game, where maybe you pop a slurp knowing you're about to get into the last fight of the game, or knowing you're about to push a player that's going to kind of decide the outcome of the game. So on paper, the ice cream is just like the clear best healing item in the game right now, but I feel like there are also some like kind of niche cases with the slurp as well. I did run a poll on my YouTube channel recently, and the slurp far outvoted the low whip special serve ice cream, so I'm not sure how many people even know what this item does, but it's 100 health, 100 shield, half a second. It's a chug jug that takes half a second to use. It's incredible, and it is very good. It's less convenient to get than the slurps, though. I mean, it can be convenient if you get a lot of coolers and you get lucky, but you might get unlucky and get none, whereas the slurps you can get from the vaults, you can get from the combat cache, so there is kind of some give and take there. Also, the slap splashes were just added in the most recent update, and this is basically a combination of the chug splash and the slap juice. Gives you unlimited sprint, but it also heals you. The default version gives you 15, but if you're able to get the exotic version, which you can get from llamas, it gives you 30 health, and it gives you the slap effect for a minute. So I definitely think the exotics slap splashes are worth considering in team game modes. Even the base ones can be nice to have in team game modes because you can give your entire team the slap effect and then, you know, all use that together, especially in the jungle biome. If you stack this with the mud, you get around incredibly fast. But as far as just like off the healing item itself, I feel like the default slap splash isn't the best, but the exotic one is very noteworthy, and you can get it from llamas. You can also get it from hollow chests, but as of the time I'm recording this, the exotic version in hollow chest is bugged, and you only get 2 when you get it from the hollow chest, and that's not how it's supposed to be, I don't think. So as of right now, that's bugged, but in the future, I think the exotic slap splashes will definitely be something that's worth carrying. The slurps and the ice cream are probably better, but the slap splashes are also quite good if you're able to get the exotic one. And then the final thing I want to talk about is just some augments. I've already touched on both of these in the video, but Bloodhound and Soaring Sprints I think are the best augments in the game right now. Bloodhound with the explosive repeater is so good, especially when fighting in the jungle. You know, you can tag somebody with it, ping them. You aren't going to worry about losing them. If somebody's in a bush and you tag them with the explosive repeater, then they're marked. And in team game modes, this marks it for everybody on your team. Anytime you hit anytime you hit somebody with the explosive repeater, or anytime you hit near somebody with the explosive repeater, not only are you going to get damage, but you're going to get wall hacks on the person if you have Bloodhound, so it's very good. And then soaring sprints is also very nice. It gets you more value out of your shockwaves. It allows you to get around the map a little bit faster and not use shockwaves in as many situations as you might need to otherwise. And the soaring sprint shockwave with the explosive repeater is just pretty much unplayable against. You just shoot down explosives down at people. In solos, this is insane, but even in team game modes, if you're fighting a team and you're worried about their teammates and then you just start getting tagged from the sky by explosive damage that is also marking you for their team, it's just very difficult to play against. I think the explosive repeater is one of the more overpowered things in the game, like I said, and I think it definitely needs to get nerfed sometime soon. Pretty much the only thing you can do to play against this is also just to shockwave up and then shoot down at them, and I don't think that's good. When like the counter to an item is just to use it first, I think that's pretty bad. Or to use it more. I feel like we saw that with boogie bombs in the past, whereas like last chapter, boogie bombs were really overpowered in zero build, and pretty much the only counter to it was to boogie them before they boogie you. And that's kind of how the explosive repeater feels right now. So I think that is just the defining weapon in the meta. You can use whatever shotgun you want with it, whether it's the Havoc Pump or the Sharp Tooth, both work very well. Even the higher fire rate shotguns can go well. You can kind of just, you don't need to worry about comboing it, but you can use the repeater for what it's good for. And then just, you know, pull out your shotgun in very close range. And then the MK is just the best AR, I think, right now. So the loadout goes MK Alpha. For me, Havoc Pump. But if you like the Sharp Tooth, I don't think you're wrong on that. I just prefer the Havoc Pump. Explosive Repeater, Shockwaves, and then your choice of Legendary Slurp, Lil Whip Special Serve, or maybe even the exotic Slap Splashes. I think Bloodhound and Soaring Sprints Augment are really nice. And if I'm unable to get Shockwaves, then I'm definitely going to try to carry Porta Bunkers. But as far as having one utility slot, which is what I typically have for pubs, I would rather have shockwaves over bunkers. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you found this helpful, informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.